Hi there. How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm excellent. Nice to meet you.
You as well.
Where are you located?
I am right outside of Washington, D.C. I'm in Maryland.
Okay, excellent. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri.
Okay.
So before I want to kind of kick our conversation off with what we've lived through for the last 3.5 years, which has been the
Mhm.
pandemic. And how did you get through it? And how has it changed things for you now that we're kind of in this post-pandemic era?
Yeah, so the pandemic, right? I think that changed everybody on some level.
Yeah.
I started the pandemic, I had 2 and 5-year-olds. So they were, out of daycare, home. I was working as an IT program manager. So my job went nuts because we had to all of a sudden support an organization remotely, which had not been previously. So work was out of control, and the kids were like, the little one was potty training. So honestly, it got rough. It was really, really hard. And I found myself like just going from meetings and emails to like cleaning up messes and potty. And it was it hit a point where I was like, this is not what I thought life was gonna look like. And started to see work into some self-development during that time.
So let's get to the heart and soul of exactly what you do these days for a living. If you were in front of a bunch of third graders at career day and one of the kids looked up and said, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How would you answer that child?
I would tell them that I take people that hate to be organized and help them get organized. And the slightly more adult version of that is it's project management processes, right? So there's a lot of entrepreneurs out there that have big visions and ideas, but they don't can't get it all on paper, or they're moving too fast from thing to thing. And I help them get organized, get themselves a quarterly project plan and some structure to start hitting those goals more effectively.
So when you were in the third grade, what was your dream? What'd you want to be when you grew up?
Oh, it was astronaut.
Yeah.
I wanted to go to space camp. I wanted to be an astronaut. But then I realized that they needed to like do a lot of math, and that dream started to fizzle.
So let's go back to the beginnings of your life. Where were you born and raised? And what were the seeds that were put into you to help people and to help them get organized?
Yeah, so I'm from New Jersey, so a Jersey girl through and through. It's probably I always tell people I've got my Jersey charm, which accounts for my foul mouth. But the seeds that were planted, it's hard to say. I feel like I've evolved so much over time, and I fell into project management. I actually ended up going to college for public relations, which I guess in some ways a lot of the work I'm doing is about relationships and presentation and all that kind of stuff. But I thought I'd end up at some PR agency and do that kind of thing. And I ended up pivoting into marketing and then ultimately the project management. Um, and I think when I left high school, like there wasn't really a big clear picture for me. It was like you go to college, the next step was go to college. And then from there, changed majors a couple times and slowly worked my way into this and found that I was just naturally good at it.
So who's been a hero for you? Who's been an inspiration for you in your life?
Yeah, so it's a little corny, but I'm a huge Weird Al fan.
Okay.
Weird Al Yankovic, I just love him. He's, weird and unapologetic about it. And I just loved his music growing up. I got to go to one of his fan VIP things at a concert as an adult, and it was perfect. Chef's kiss.
I got a Weird Al story for you, and this is
Uh-huh.
totally true. When I was a kid, we have this amusement park in Kansas City called Worlds of Fun, and there was an
Mhm.
amphitheater, and he was there, and it was when he did Eat It, and he came out in the red coat, threw the banana peel, people went crazy. I always remember that, and I loved it. So about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, my son loves it out there. He's on the spectrum, and that's his therapy place. He loves being out there.
Mhm.
So they've since closed the amphitheater there. I mean, I used to see wrestling events, the Iron Sheik, all these like weird, goofy entertainment things,
Awesome.
and they closed it down. And I was walking through this area where it was by, and I literally looked down on the ground and I saw a ticket stub for Weird Al Yankovic at another place in Kansas City from the week before. And I was like, what are the chances that I'm daydreaming about being a kid seeing Weird Al? And here's the ticket. It was so weird.
Yeah, kismet,
That's right. It was 100%. So you may have answered my next question. If you can meet and hang around with anybody on the planet right now, who would it be?
So Weird Al's on definitely like when you pick that table of five people.
Yeah.
But I would love to talk to Jane Fonda.
Okay.
I I just think that that would be an incredible conversation. I mean, that woman's in her 80s now, and she has more vibrancy and life and drive than most people in their 20s or 30s, and it's really inspiring to see that just keep going and keep working towards things, right? She's big activist, so she's got really ambitious goals, and that's inspiring.
Absolutely. So, speaking of someone like Jane Fonda and even Weird Al Yankovic, they have a lot of motivation to do what they do in
Mhm.
their lives. What's that motivation for you to get out of bed and to help people and to accomplish what you want to get done?
Yeah, I mean, the big why is the kids. I have these, two daughters that are now they're turning 6 and 9. Um, and I just want them to have a big full life of choice. I kind of feel like as I went through my stages, no, major setbacks or trials and tribulations, but it was very formulaic. Like, I went to high school and then it was you go to college and then you're going to get a job and you're going to be happy about your health benefits. And that ultimately wasn't fulfilling. Um, there's nothing wrong with making a good living for family and all that kind of stuff, but I never took time when I was making that transition into adulthood to really think about what I wanted to do or what gave me fulfillment or passion. And I'm really working towards creating that opportunity for my kids so that when they come to that decision, they can choose what they want to do and not feel like it's like just jumping into the rat race to pay the bills and get the education and all that kind of stuff that a lot of us fall into.
So, what's been one of your best success stories that you've been involved with?
Mhm. Success stories. So I am really proud of the time I spent. I was doing a lot of government contracting work, and one of the organizations I supported, they had really big morale issue. Nobody was really happy or motivated or anything, and this was pre-COVID. This was, you know, issues before all of that. And I came in, I took over as program manager, and within a few years, completely turned around the team morale. A lot of the dead weight moved on because the environment was changing, the energy was shifting, and we brought in a lot of great personalities and talent that worked together. And this was in the IT field, so I believe you are as well, right? So there's
Yes.
unique personalities in IT, right? There's a lot of really highly technical people, not always with the soft skills. So we were able to build a team that learned how to communicate together, inside and outside of work. They started doing happy hours together and connecting. And by the time people left and when they left, it went from, we hate this place and there's no opportunity and everybody, like the managers suck. It went from that kind of feedback to we've just outgrown it. Like our skills have advanced past what we can do here. And they were leaving more for career opportunities and not because of the environment anymore. So that was a rewarding thing to see happen. The time I was leading that team.
So, if you have a dream tonight and run into a younger version, a 20-year-old version of yourself, and you could give that version of you a piece of advice based on the wisdom that you've gained in your life up to this point, what
Mhm.
advice would you give your younger self?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that don't follow the script, right? Like you don't just have to run through the motions because that's what's been kind of put on you or embedded on you. But also getting mentors. I think it's something kind of silly, like when you're younger and you're on sports teams, you have all the coaches, you have guidance counselors, you have all these tools. And then we go into adulthood and we're like, oh, we got it. We know how to do everything now. Um, and I found once I started embracing support and finding people who have been there before me and learning from their mistakes, things just got easier. It got so much easier. So I would encourage everybody, whether that's, therapy, mentor, coaches, whatever combination of support that is, to just know that you don't have to figure everything out on your own. It can be easier.
So let me ask you this: if you could witness any event that happened in human history with your own eyes, what would you love to have been at to see?
Ooh, so I feel like a lot of historical events are traumatic. So I would have loved to seen Queen at Live Aid.
Yeah.
That would
You
have been just epic.
It's funny. I got married in 2019 and it was on July 13th, and I didn't realize that that was the actual day, the anniversary day of that show.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's a part of our nomenclature now.
That's awesome. So every anniversary, you got to play, do some Queen homage.
Yeah, we got to do a little Deo, yeah, we got to get out there and do it
That's
up.
great.
So everyone out there has a perception of you, family, friends, clients, colleagues, but you ultimately run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Yeah, that's a hard one to really know. I was in a unique position when I pivoted from my kind of corporate, traditional job into running my own company now. The team I was running, our contract ended, and there was just a lot of transition happening. And I was in this really unique position where I got a lot of unexpected feedback. And I remember talking to someone about it at the time. It almost felt like my career was being eulogized, right? Because all these people were telling me like, "Oh, we're gonna miss working for you. You're one of the best managers we had," and like I hadn't heard that stuff before, right? Nobody tells you that in passing, um, but it was just really heartwarming to know that people did enjoy working with me and on the team, and that when I started telling folks that I was gonna launch my own company and that I wasn't gonna go, get another regular job, um, a lot of them like just confidence. They're like, "You got this. Like you're gonna do so good." And it was honestly what really kind of pushed me over the edge because there's a lot of hesitation when you jump into entrepreneurship of just fear and limiting beliefs and all that stuff. So I think I've made a positive impact on people, or at a bare minimum, like they enjoy my presence, right? So that's pretty cool to know.
For sure. So if anyone out there wants to learn more about you, reach out, anything regarding your world, where can they go?
Yeah, so website is the PMO boss.com for project management offices. I've got a great free guide up there. It's 7 strategies for people that hate project management but just need to get some structure. So that guide is on the website if anyone wants to check it out, as well as everything else about us.
Excellent, Laura. This has been wonderful. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your time, and keep on digging the Weird Al.
Yes, absolutely. And Queen.
Yes, absolutely.
All
Thank you. Have
right,
a great
thank
day.
you. Bye
See ya.
bye.